Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Fight Legends Game Dev Update. This is number 8. We're here, as always, with Dizzley. How are you doing today, sir?
Very fun, thank you. It's always fun to be here on a Friday afternoon with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. We're keeping it moving. Always some interesting and fun updates to talk about. And we're bringing it here live, of course, to Twitter. We're on Twitch. We're on YouTube. We're on and DLive.tv, which is a decentralized alternative to Twitch that I'm personally a partner on. Just got started with uploading some stuff for our own other oh, I'm playing on my phone. Sorry about that. Just recently started getting a Fight Legends account uploaded and ready over there, so everyone can
Nice.
keep a lookout for that. But today we've got some interesting and fun stuff to look into. We've got a Bob rework update as we get him further integrated into Unity and looking more towards our IRL athlete, BobSapp. I got a combat protocol that'll be playable today as well. That's looking really cool. So exciting to show everyone that. We have a launcher update to use the new backend, which is going to be cool. We're going to see a little preview of that. And then we've got some new web app that's going to be that people are going to be able to check out. That's going to help them with the marketplace and interact with the project. And then we have a big trailer that we're building together for something exciting that we're going to talk about, right? So that'll be fun. So let's dive right into it, man. First thing we'll talk
No.
about is let's do the combat prototype first, since that's our video. Tell us a little bit about what we're looking at here and what the process was of implementing it.
Yeah, so basically, this is our first iteration of Ross's sort of combat gauge
Mm-hmm.
mechanic. So it's just a first pass. We're taking it to our advisor team to sort of get their feedback on it. There's a few things that probably end up changing, and obviously the UI is just a placeholder. But yeah, basically it's the idea that Ross is like we're playing on his nickname Turbo. So we're sort of giving him sort of a dynamo turbo style sort of battery sort of feel to it, where he's charging up, and then you can unleash that, and then you can start actually damaging the opponent. It stacks a debuff on the opponent, and then at 5 stacks, it actually procs a stun and the damage. Again, all the effects of placeholders. But yeah, I'm going to be throwing that up today for our body faces to test out and have some feedback.
Sweet.
But yeah, we're also going to get some like proper feedback from our advisors next week in the meeting with them.
That's what's so cool about the bloody faces. We're getting it just as the advisors are getting it. You never know what's going to come and go, but there's always some new
Mm-hmm.
stuff, that's happening as soon as you pop open
Yeah.
and start playing. You never know. So I'm excited. That's what I'm going to be doing as soon as this is over. Of course, we've got
Oh
game
yeah.
night after this as well. So
Mm-hmm.
so after game night, maybe
After.
I'll pop in.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, that is awesome, man. I'm sitting here looking at it, and that's we're again Ross Turbo Levine, the IRL athlete, Karate Combat 2021 Rookie of the Season. So really cool to have him in there, and we're playing off of his nickname. And we're kind of brainstorming different ideas in regards to some of our other IRL athletes in that regards too, trying to kind of make them bigger than life, but stay true
Yep.
to their personalities. So it's very
Mm-hmm.
exciting to see that kind of start getting implemented into Ross. So that's very cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So next we've got some Bob Sapp. This started originally as someone we were calling Cookie, but as
Mm.
we brought Bob Sapp onto the project, we actually ended up implementing that model or that character, and we're going to try and change it. We're going to actually change it into Bob Sapp, right? So tell us a little bit about
Yep.
what process we're at here. It's looking really awesome already.
Yeah. So this is just like the beginning of the sculpt. So yeah, we basically had Cookie, which was just sort of a placeholder character where we're trying to figure out. We wanted to bring a grappler into the sort of lineup. Perfect sort of timing. And then Bob Sapp appeared, and we are like, well, we can just rework it. And Bob's kind of got like grappler background. It'll be fun to start designing the mechanics behind his sort of combat mechanics. I'm guessing it'll be quite grappler heavy, technical throws and things like that. Some pretty special moves in. Um, but yeah, this is just the beginning. All the things that the picture you'll be seeing now is just a sort of the beginning sculpt, slowly bringing it more and more as each pass to his likeness. And we just wanted to really like exaggerate his build, make him like huge. We want to kind of have him as one of the biggest characters, at least in the first lineup. So we kind of really want to make him, exaggerated, nice and big.
That makes sense. He was huge, huge man. I mean,
Yeah.
of course, grappling makes sense because he's famous for his power bomb of Noguera
Hmm.
at Pride. So I'm
Yep.
very
That was
keen to
actually
see it.
special request by Bob
Yeah,
for his special
exactly.
move
You're
when I
darn right
asked
it
him.
was.
Yeah.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very keen on seeing that. So, and that only makes sense. So that'll be real fun. I'm definitely excited. I love the grappler. I was always a Zangief guy in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
So yeah, totally fun. Let's see. Do I have another one of him, or what's our next one here? Okay, so our next thing here is this is the launcher update, right? So right now we're looking at what will be the new login for the launcher. Tell us a little bit more
Mhm.
about the updates we're going to see there soon, or right
Yep.
now.
So
Yeah.
yeah, well, basically, we're probably about a week out from having it drop, roughly, if everything goes according to plan.
Hmm.
We're just doing the UI and a few more testing features with it. We've basically implemented as you get, games are huge nowadays. So as our game starts growing, we want to have it basically as optimized as possible, so that people, when they update it, only has to scan the files that are required and download those specific files rather than doing the whole thing. So
Right.
it's a waste of everybody's bandwidth. Also, to have it as a sort of pause and resume. So if it's a long download and you're like, I have to wait, you can pause it in the middle wherever you want. It'll start again from that pause point. So it's just like quality of life features, and it's properly now using our AWS backend rather than the placeholder Google one that we're using before. So it should be a lot more stable, a lot more efficient.
Awesome. Well, that's always good. Little incremental upgrades on something that you guys wouldn't even have to be worried about usually. But, here in crypto, we want to bring everyone along for the ride. So we got to make sure as early as possible that these things are nice and smooth for people as we
Exactly.
onboard them. Yeah. So that makes sense. Well, let's see. What else do we've got? Um, See, the final thing was a couple more things. So we had a new web app that's going to be coming out soon. Tell us a little bit more about what that's going to be, what people will find there, stuff like that.
Yep. So the web app is basically just like the way that the community will start really getting their hands, like, in our ecosystem.
Hmm.
We're going to basically have all of the NFT drops occurring from that platform. We will have all of the NFTs that you own that are in our platform available to see there, and then that will be expanded as we grow with it into a marketplace where you can do the trading back and forth.
Mm.
You better put up all of your NFTs, basically all your in-game items, and you'll be able to buy them and trade them and so forth in that system. Obviously, you can still take them out and do it on a secondary marketplace.
Sure.
That's fine, but yeah, it's just going to basically have an in-house way, and this will be the same system that will be accessible in the game as well to be able to do the same functions.
Okay, interesting. Now, just off the top of my head, I know like some projects, like MetaOps is on Fractal, and they have a cool little web app website that's basically functions as a Web 2 social platform front end.
Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But like you can also like do streaming there, and buy. It's an NFT marketplace streaming. It's like all of them. Would that be something? Will potentially like what traditional website features will be found there? That are different from like just what we'll find at FightLegends.io. What's the difference
Yeah,
there?
well, so it's basically like all of the stuff that will be in game functions. We're going to try
We'll
and
find
have
there.
like a seamless features on the website
Hmm.
through the app. But also that you raise up a good point. The sort of streaming service, we're actually looking and planning about setting up our own sort of streaming service, or at least a way that players can actually be an engaging audience in the streaming of the
Right.
fighting. So there might even be a way. It's still early days, but we really like the idea of having the community basically be able to jump on, watch their favorite fighters fight like in real time, and even have like input, or get rewarded potentially even for jumping in and actually playing and engaging with the players. So that'll be a pretty cool thing, and that will probably be included in that sort of platform. But obviously, in the future as we develop it.
Interesting. Now that kind of would there possibly be an interest in partnering with a decentralized Web3 streaming service that would do it for us?
Yeah, that's a potential. I mean, there's a lot of potentials like that happening in this space.
Mm-hmm.
There's a couple of projects we've spoken about with NFT lending, even that we're like, it would be interesting to be able to integrate or use that service if it's able to be used that way. It depends on how they're developing it, but yeah, having a secondary platform be able to give us that sort of functionality, we'd totally be open to that, as long as they've got obviously the things that we want to be,
Right.
the features that we want to
Hmm.
implement.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, I know on D Live TV, obviously, whoever's watching can be rewarded for watching and engaging with the chat.
Yep.
Because I can randomly go and drop chests that people open, and it divvies it up amongst
Yep.
the most active there.
That's cool.
And so that's a cool way, and it goes back and forth. Obviously, people can drop what the internal reward token, which is a lemon there.
Yep.
On people and limiting up to Lamborghini, and they got subs there and stuff like that. So yeah, all super cool things, and I could see us like partnering with a place like that and holding some of our esports tournaments there and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was really hoping as well that potentially, and this is again sort of more of an idea than current plan at the moment, but it'd be really cool to have a streaming service where you can jump on and you could actually like vote as part of the community to like create obstacles for the fighters or change the situation slightly, have modifications occur during the fight. So you could have like a mode where it was almost like, audience messes with you mode. Because that'd be kind of a fun engaging
like that Street Fighter. Remember the Street Fighter thing where the barrels would come down, except that the crowd controls the barrels.
The crowd controls what they are or where they are. Like, yeah, those kinds of things. It just brings a more fun, way that a player can actually engage with their community as well. So that'd be kind of cool.
That would be interesting. That could be fun. All right. Well, yeah, now my brain's racing, like all the little mini games you could do, right? That's pretty cool. All right. Well, and then finally, last but not least, we are working. I don't know how much we can say about who exactly this is for or who we're partnering with or anything like that. But we've got a trailer in the works that's showcasing some of our stages and whatnot. So tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah. Well, so basically, as we're leading towards our sort of launch month, as it starts to ramp up doing IDOs and up towards our token generation event, we basically, a lot of places are like, hey, we'd love to have a trailer. And also, we also would love to have more trailers. So we've had to pull a couple of people off of some of their tasks and say, hey, let's focus on this. Let's storyboard it out. Let's brainstorm session. So, yeah, we're basically coming up with a trailer. So far, it's obviously the super early blockouts, but I think it looks really cool, and we get to show off some of our stages that we haven't been able to implement into the engine yet. So I think that'll be a really cool little sequence. And we've got our animation director who's doing the animations for it, our stage designer who's helping out with it. So yeah, it's looking pretty cool so far, but it'll be really cool when it's finished, and we're going to be dropping it hopefully within the next week. Hopefully that was a tentative plan.
Okay, nice. Yeah, it's super cool because it's a chance to see the characters moving around inside the stages, so it adds a whole new life to them, and so we've seen all this awesome art coming out, so it's great to see it alive a little bit,
Yeah, and even the direction, because obviously the stages in game are all from a particular angle. You don't typically see it from more than just the fighting angle, but we get to showcase off a little bit more of the surrounding environment because the way that the camera's going to pan through them won't be traditionally focused on that. Right. So that'd be cool.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to that, of course. Don't forget, everyone, to check out fightlegends.io or bloodyfaces.io if you want to get that mint pass. You get the early access demo prototype. You're also going to get a whole bunch of perks beyond that, like marketplace access for Bloody Faces only, exclusive content. And there's going to be all sorts of cool stuff inside of the clubhouse. And you're also going to get whitelisted for all the future NFT drops in game. It's a huge alpha there. And of course, we're going to also be doing some special Bloody Faces clubhouse stuff in Discord. At the top of the hour, 10 o'clock my time, we're doing a Discord Warzone gaming event. So make sure everyone finds themselves in there. And we'll see you next time on the Video Dev Update. Thank you again, Dizzley, for joining us. You have a good rest of your night, man. All right.
You too, man.
Bye.
Peace out.